There's only so much information you have from watching the game with your eyes, from a seat, from your couch, from a chair. You are looking at stats and say, oh my God, he was 5 for 20. He had a bad game, right? That's all you can do. You can't tell someone who played the game what it's like to play against somebody, what our game plan was, what our practice was. That's why it's so important when players get mad at the media, when you say, well, you're not doing this. Well, how the fuck do you know who our plays are?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We got some of our crew here. You may remember us from Gil's Arena, a show you may have seen before.
Now we local niggas now.
We are local niggas. No show jobbing it. JJ Aspiration LLC. JJ Aspiration LLC.
Hey, as soon as a nigga get handcuffed, boy, they cut the plug.
Gotta look around.
Yeah. Give it right to the white man. That's crazy.
Waking up in cold sweats.
God damn. God.
What happened to the channel I love? What happened to the channel I love?
Ooh, man, they took the name off of there. Shitty, right?
Man.
Shit, take it off. We're going to put duh.
Duh.
This is the Gilbert Arena show. Now, Gilbert Arena will be back very soon, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking to the good folks over Underdog, getting things sorted out, figuring out cadence and all that good stuff. Want you guys to know, happy to report to you that we will be back on these streets soon. But we got Mr. B in the building here. We got Gilbert Arenas, the namesake of the Gilbert Arena show here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on playback. So first topic I want to get into, Stephen A. Smith, friend of the program, Gil's Arena, appeared on the show numerous times. He said that too many non-hoopers are talking about the game. So he said, unfortunately, on too many occasions, cats that didn't play, they want to act like they knew it all on their own when it's impossible. I will never disrespect an athlete by acting like I know what people who actually didn't know. I don't know more. I know what I know. I can come at you from a scribe, from a pundit, from a commentator's perspective, but I never disrespect. I always make sure you know I don't know what you know. So when you hear that, we saw a situation recently where Ryan Clark got into it on his show, basically called a dude out, said he had never played football before. A lot of non-football players all banded together, said that's okay. He's covered the game for years. He should know the game. But how do you guys feel when you hear squares, as I like to call them, trying to talk about the game that you played at a very high level, that you made millions of dollars playing, and they try to talk the game as if they know the game like you know the game?
You got it.
I mean, for me, we can talk about different people who are squares and don't know the game or not. But I feel like when we talk to guys like Lowe, like yourself, Josiah, you guys have a good insight of the game. So I guess it just depends on who's talking. Like, you know what I'm saying, who really has their information, who really is watching the games and things like that. But I feel like yourself, like Lowe, guys like that, some guys can talk about the game that never been to the NBA because they're you can go to YouTube, you can watch highlights, and you can pull up certain stats and everything like that. So it just depends on who it is to me.
Let me jump in, Mr. B. Appreciate you for the love and respect, but I will always caveat it and point it out. Like, look, I got a Division I scholarship to play basketball at UCLA. Do not look at the stats. There was a lot of hating going on internally, externally. Coaches were hating. The nightlife in Los Angeles was getting the best of me. But for me, being on the couch with you guys, I always make the point, like, if I'm on the couch with you guys have all played at a much higher level than me, all been in locker rooms, all been a part of teams. You know this game inside and out. I'm always going to defer to you guys. I'm always going to ask questions. I will very rarely kind of infuse my takes and opinions into it because the reality is I don't know shit. So who better to ask than yourself, Gil, Canyon Shad, Alexi, Cheryl Swoops, Norris Cole, the rest of the crew, the answer to those questions. And I do take it a little personally, and it's sad. I mean, I always point out, I remember I was watching an episode of, I think it was like Sports Center. Brian Windhurst was on. Brian Windhurst, an amazingly talented journalist, but they were asking something along the lines of like, what's going through LeBron's mind right now? And I'm like, this nigga has never hooped at a high level in his life. How the fuck is he going to know what the fuck is going on in LeBron's mind right now? But that's just me personally. Gil, what are your feelings on what Stephen A. Smith said?
The way what he's saying is 100% correct. Just like what Ryan Clark was saying is 100% correct. There's just only a certain amount of information you could actually have, and then you're capped off, right? Just like a plane. We all ride planes every goddamn day. We can't be the pilot. We don't know what the pilot is doing, and we know turbulence, put the seatbelt on. We know how to get on. We know air pressure. We know pull this shit out, put ours on before we put the kids on. We get that, right? the eye test. But if you've never been in a plane and trained and did all that, you cannot fly it. There's only so much information you have from watching the game with your eyes, from a seat, from your couch, from a chair, right? You are looking at stats and say, oh my God, he was 5 for 20. He had a bad game, right? That's all you can do. You can't tell someone who played the game what it's like to play against somebody, what our game plan was, what our practice was. That's why it's so important when players get mad at the media, when you say, well, you're not doing this. Well, how the fuck do you know who our plays are? Are you going through a rundown? Do you know our game plan? Do you know if we was doubling him or not? Do you know where we was pushing him? Do you know exactly whose fault it was? You don't know that. And that be the problem when you act like you do. If you say, yo, you had a bad game because you're looking at my stats, cool. But we don't know just like football, if a quarterback throws it and it gets intercepted, we don't know if the quarterback was at fault, if the receiver was at fault. Only the person who's actually in the moment can tell you that. And that's what I don't like, because you think the film tells you what our plays are. That be the irritating part. I remember I did a spin just like this. I did a spin, boom, and then bounced it, right? So what happened was our player was getting denied, right? He was getting denied, and we have dribble reaction moves. So dribble, I can hand it off. If he's denying you, back door. But an automatic back door is if I spin on it. So if you're over here and I come this way and then spin towards you, you're supposed to automatically go back door. Boom, I passed it, out of bounds.
Hey.
The fuck media gonna tell me I made a bad play. Nigga, how the fuck you know my play?
So
nigga, what the fuck you talking about?
All right, so I have a question. So you telling me that because they don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? But they see you go, say they see you have 3 good games, right? And then all of a sudden now you just fall off. Like they're trying to figure out what's going on. Like, how can you be, because at the end of the day, sports is about being consistent. Mm-hmm. So if you're not being consistent, you're leaving. It's just like on the internet or anything. Like when you're having a bad game, you're leaving things to be open for people to talk about. So you're telling me that a fan that sit there every day courtside and he's watching you and you're getting 25, 25, 25, 25, 20, and then next thing you go 5 games or 4 games having bad, like, yeah, they have some questions like what just happened?
And
because I'm consistently coming here every day, sitting courtside, so I'm just asking.
Remember, I asked you
from my fans,
and I asked you, and I said, "Hey, yo, when you hit that 55, what happened? You became unaggressive."
Mm-hmm. And I told you why.
A fan won't know that. See, unless we ask you the question, we assuming you fell off or you're doing this. No, my veterans basically telling me, hey, it ain't your turn right now. Pass the ball. So now,
but the fan, they don't give a fuck about that. The fan is paying to see you. So the fan is wondering. The fan don't care what the because first of all, the same fan that was cheering me back then, they're the reason why I'm back now. So what I'm saying is the fans can keep you alive. Like the fans saying, yo, keep being who you are and keep doing what you do. That's the organization. The organization ain't gonna get rid of you.
No, the question is, how can the media tell you fell off when the coach said and the player said, no, hey, we don't want you shooting that much. Pass the ball around. So now you going into the game being mindful of the new play. They think you fell off. They talk, hey, what's going on? Obviously, you can't say this ass nigga told me I need to pass the ball and he don't.
Why not though? I should have though. I
But
I feel like if I should have, then the fans would have.
But what I'm saying is, you did.
The fans would have backed me. If I'd have been like, yo, listen, they tell me I got to pass the ball, this and that, move. The fans would be like, hell no, man, we want to see that shit. We want to see that 55 shit all the time.
I get it. I get what you're saying, what you should have did with it, but they're saying that they know what's going on because they're watching the game. But you're not in our locker room. You're not practicing with us. You're not clubbing with us. You don't know why I'm. Hey, listen, if I'm taking 35 shots, if you taking 35 shots, there's a reason.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They saying you a ball hog, obviously.
But if we winning though,
It don't matter. If a man takes 35 shots he's take 35 shots in a game. That means through training camp, he's established 35 shots. Practice every day, he's established 35 shots. He ain't passing it to a nigga who's clubbing when he go to Miami. He ain't passing the ball to y'all. So as a fan, we watching and we talking about, oh, you need to pass the ball. There's a reason he's not passing the ball. And you think because you watching it, you know what's going on? Do you know this nigga next to me drunk? Nope.
So Gil, you tell me right now, if, after my 55-point games, shoot 35. If I would have shot 20 to 25 shots at it, you think the fans would have been? We were already winning.
Talking about the fans are not saying they're backing you. They're pretending because they're watching the game. They know exactly what's going on.
No, but we're winning though. We're winning with this.
We're talking about.
Yes, it is winning. But winning has to do with everything.
About something different. We're not having the same conversation.
But if I'm shooting 20 to 25 shots tonight and we win it, the fans not as a rookie, they don't give a. We win it. We ain't been in the playoffs in 8 years.
That's not the conversation we're having. The conversation is if you've never played ball, you can't tell someone that like you know how you're explaining it. You're explaining like I'm sacrificed. We winning. Shit.
The fans want it. That's
like,
if the fans
no, you fell off. You see the difference? There, you fell off. You ain't scoring 55 no more. You fell off. You see? Because they don't, but they say because they don't know that you're sacrificing for the team.
Right. But I'm saying if I would have said that, the fans would have been like, man, that.
But you have to say it. They're pretending.
I know, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I should have said it. If I would have said it, then we wouldn't even have this problem because they would have been like, yeah, hell yeah, keep going.
But that's like saying. But that's like anything. That's why I said you can't unless you're in the locker room every day with the players going through these things. You don't know. You just assume because he ain't scoring 20 no more. We don't know what the coach told him. We don't know what another player told him. We don't know nothing. Like I'm looking at Jalen Hurts and people say he's not top 5. I'm like he's doing whatever it takes to win. Mm-hmm. I can only judge him by he wants to win. He's doing everything to win. Right? We got Brunson with New York. You tell him to take 15 shots to win. Nigga, they're not winning. Right. They're not winning. Okay? Right. We can see that. He needs to take those many shots with the team he has. We not going to call him a ball hog. We look at his team. We watching. They don't shoot the ball when he's not in. Anytime he's in, they're going to him. So that means our judgment negative, talking about, they need to do this, they need to do that. We're wrong.
Okay, because so
we're not in that locker room to know why he's doing all this. Obviously,
okay, so let's take
all
right. So let's take Cam Thomas' situation for example. Right, he came out and said what he said. So is he wrong for how he's so?
What did he say?
I mean, basically he was like, I need more money and like I'm a scorer and like basically like him being honest about how he played and what he can bring to the table.
Yeah,
he's like right. You know what I'm saying, like did it hurt him did it hurt him or is it honest?
No, what he's saying is right. It's like a media saying you ain't worth it because then they start bringing down his stats. Your stats don't tell you because people say, well, you're not built like he was the 3rd highest doubled guy in the NBA. You can't tell him he's not that guy, right? But if a fan looks at it and say, oh, y'all wasn't winning this and that he was doubled 3rd most in the NBA, top 5 in the NBA. That speaks volumes on how the opponent feels about his game. So what he's speaking, he's right. But a media go in there, they'll look at it and say, oh, this shit's ugly, don't like it. That's what they'll do. And that's what Stephen A. Smith said. There's only certain much you can talk. Like when football, I'll make my takes, boom, boom, boom. When it gets to, they got a blitz on this side, the knuckles in this, they got to move, they got to block this. You can't keep up with them talking like that. And that's why Ryan Clark checked him. Because what I learned, and this is real when they did the audition, right? When they did the audition, I went back and watched it. And I said, yeah, this is going to be harder than it looks. The ESPN analysts can get away with murder against the football talent because it's 30 seconds, a minute, and then we're done, right? So all I have to do is just spill my little beans. Somebody interjects, and then they're on to the next topic, right? So a football player can't unleash his knowledge in the format. So I'm watching these guys go back and forth, And I'm sitting here like, yeah, this is above the pay grade. You have to play. Like, first of all, you got football language, then you got offensive language, and then you got the quarterback language, right? Where they're sitting there arguing about these little details, and you see even Skip would just be sitting there like, because he can't have that talk, because the things that they're talking about, the details they're talking about, you have to be on that field in real time. Like, so unless you're a coach or a actual player, you don't know what they're talking about. Shit, the defense most of the time don't know what the quarterback's talking about. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, this is gonna be very different. This is a lot harder than basketball.
And I think, look, we've seen a tremendous shift. I've seen the sports landscape, the way the games are covered. I see people in the chat pointing out that Peter Schrager, who's the person that Ryan Clark went at, has a bigger contract than Ryan Clark.
Who?
Peter Schrager, the dude that a well-respected journalist who Ryan Clark came out and said, "Babe, you never been in the locker room doing all that." So I get all that stuff, but I think this is entertainment nowadays, and that's the most important thing. If you have the ability to entertain, it doesn't matter if what you're saying is right or wrong if people believe it. And the reality is there's more squares than there are high-level athletes. Only the top 0.01%, right, will ever play pro in their particular sport. But if somebody who never played has an opinion that other people who never played can rock with or roll with, they're going to ride with that. And there's more of them than there is y'all.